So this is my second year growing black beans. Can't get enough of that. And I also wanted to show off my new shirt. Can you see it? You can't eat the grass. Great channel, folks up in Canada, and I mean, I'm someone who turned my grass into a garden because you can't eat the grass. So it's only the second merch I've ever bought in my life, so go check them out if you don't know. I'll link them below. Share the love. Here are my black beans. So I've collected more than this, and I've collected a whole nother bucket of beans this morning. I shot this video that you're going to see before we had the hurricane that kind of knocked my fence. If you can see, my fence is kind of knocked down a little bit. But the beans are doing really great. They're growing really tall. So I'm just coming out here today and picking the ones that are ready so that there's more energy for the ones that are not ready. So I hope you enjoy this video about growing black beans, and I think today I'm also going to cook some, so look for that at the end of the video. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Let's go check out the black beans. Alright, good morning gardening friends. So I come to you this morning to talk about harvesting black beans and how I've learned to grow my black beans vertically. So let's go look at the black beans. So I have black beans growing all along this fence here, and they're growing really tall. So I finally learned that my black beans like to climb. So I'm going to show you when I harvest them, when you can harvest them, and how. So let's get a closer look. Alright, so here is a plant that's looking a little damaged actually, but I started here because they're starting to dry off near the bottom. So if you pick them at this stage, they're already, that's not clear, they're already pretty dried out. So let's look at that. Okay, so at this stage, the beans are pretty hard. So when you pick them and they're dried out like this, you can basically just let them dry a little bit longer, and I just put them in jars. So they're like dried beans. Okay, but if you want to eat them a little more fresh, you can pick them a little more fresh. So this one here, they're not quite as dry. You see how it's bigger than the others? So these are a little fresher. You can just let them dry, or you could cook these. I prefer to just go ahead and let mine dry, and then I'll just rehydrate them. So if you wait too long to get these right here, they'll start to get moldy, and you know, we don't really want that. So I'm going to pick a lot today of different readiness, and just kind of show you guys. But I really recommend growing beans, black beans, vertically. It gives them more room to spread out. They don't fall over, and they really do grow really high. So here's another example. This one's grown really tall. The beans are nice and spaced out. They're actually on both sides of the fence. And I can go ahead and harvest these purple ones, and we could cook these today. So they're still kind of purple in there. They haven't even quite fully turned black yet. But I'm going to go ahead and harvest quite a few today, and I'll show you what I get. But just look at how this really lets them space out. That one's, some are more dry than others. I'm going to come with my scissors instead of pulling them. Here is a beautiful example of how purple they are. Wow. So we can harvest them now. You don't want to harvest them green. They're not ready yet. But when they're purple like this, you're good to go. So that's that. I've got a zinnia growing up in there too. And if we just step on over here, this is the black bean plant that I started in the spring. And you guys, it is still holding on. It's pretty much finishing up, but it has put out a lot of black beans. We've gotten enough for like 3 meals off of just these 2 little plants right here. But as you can see, it's really drying out. It's really tired. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the beans off of this one today probably. And most of them are pretty much done. So I kept doing, succession planting of the black beans, and you can see them right here all along the fence. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. One over there kind of getting taken over by cucumbers. And I just think they're beautiful. Oh, and there's a bee covered in pollen. How cute. And here's a little tomato. Here's what we're working with. I also grabbed some peppers and some okra, and this one's a purple hull, but you can see the ones that stayed too long, they're getting moldy. We have quite a few different stages of black beans here. Not a huge harvest, but we're going to be getting more, so it's always good to come out and pick before they get to looking like that. Something got me. I hope you think about growing beans, even though they're inexpensive at the store. They're really pretty the way they grow. They're really healthy, and they're something that could be a staple if you needed to provide protein and such in a situation. Plus, we love eating them. So if you made it to the end of this video, let me know by telling me what your favorite kind of bean to eat is, because I think whatever your family eats, that's what you should grow, right? I'm growing lima beans this year, and they're not doing so hot, but I wanted to try a new bean, so I think navy beans will be what I'll try next year. Alright guys, catch you in the next one. Happy growing.